I said. That's not what I said. You know what? Fuck you.
Action.
So I need a car. I have found this 2007 Eclipse 3.8 GT on Facebook. It was a C's motor. They know nothing about cars, so got off their hands for about $400. Figured I'd do a motor swap myself. So I was like, why not? Spent $1,000, swapped it in about a week around my birthday, and then it was like good to go. I had a small problem with the ignition chip, but easy fix. And then I would say about 6 months, and I just happened to be at a stop sign, and this guy just runs the red light, hits me, and that car is totaled. So I'm going about 3 months without a car, going back and forth with my kid's mom about her dart, and then enough was enough. So I asked my coworker, I was like, can I borrow like $2,500? She was like, yeah, sure. How long will it take you to pay back? It's like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Worked my butt off, but every day I walk past the same dealership we got the dart from, and I was like, I want that car right there. It was 2015 Chrysler 200S black. I was like, oh, it's an S. You know, I was like, if it's an S, 3.6, you know, about 265 horsepower. I was like, I gotta have that car. Go up in there, it's not ready. So I'm like, okay, it's not ready. I just begged them week after week. Like, can I have it yet? Can I have it yet? They're like, fine, you can have it. Just let you know it has a cracked window, this and that. I was like, I didn't care. Give me the car. So I borrowed the money, got the car, drove off the lot. I was like, I'm gonna use this thing for Uber, Lyft, but I need a big wing. And, you know, once I got the car off the lot, I was like, it's mine. You know, it was just like so beautiful. I like went through everything, all the features in it, everything about that car. And within like a couple of days, I bought my first mod. I had bought some blue LEDs, real nice blue, you know, complement the interior, and, you know, needless to say, it worked out up until, you know, I couldn't see at night. So after I put the blue lights, everyone wanted to drive it. My mom wanted to drive it, and, you know, it was just one of the cars. She's like, this is made for luxury, not speeding. I was like, yeah, sure, Mom. So I did what I want with the car. You know, soon after that, I had just thought, what else could I do with it? You know, so I was like, you know what? Let me tint the taillights. So I grabbed my brother-in-law. We tinted the taillights. We were up all night in the cold. He didn't even want to do it anymore. I was like, come on, just please let me get this done. So we did it. And needless to say, it came out pretty clean. You know, I wanted to go with film, but we did the spray. And then I took it to my job, and I was like, oh my God, you got a brand new car. Let me drive it. So, you know, they would just take it down the street, go through the drive-thru, do whatever they wanted with the car. And, you know, I loved it. And then with one of my friends at the time, we had decided to go up to the mountains for a little trip. It was on Thanksgiving, and it started snowing in the pass, and on the way back, it wasn't even ice yet. I guess I caught some black ice, and car spun out of control and had a blowout. My left tail tip exhaust just went flying somewhere. I picked that back up. The ice just kept going higher and higher. We were stuck in the snow for 13 hours. 13. And I was like, I can't take this anymore. The tow truck couldn't make it to us, so I literally drove on bare rim, the only car that was not sliding across the pavement, just bare rim. Probably about 1.5 miles to the gas station to meet up with the tow truck. Fell asleep in the car for about an hour. Tow truck's like, hey, are you guys on it? Like, yes. So I made it through with just blown tire. It was pretty good. And then once I got home, got the tire fixed, I went back to doing what I do the most. I went back to modding. Went on to Walmart, got me a new intake cone because the one I got on my clothes was trash by then. $5, you know. And then my stepdad, he was putting a new intake in his Magnum. I was like, hey, can I have those parts? And look, he was like, yeah, you want it? Alright. So I took his old intake, finagled it, made it like a little downpipe for it. And then I was going to go see my sister. The downpipe was put in right before it started raining. And everyone knows downpipes and rains don't make, because that's like a vacuum, and I was not having it. So from there, I took it back, put it back up the top. And then my son ran out and he starts hitting my front bumper. Little boy's strong. He yanks out the front grill bars, and I just was like, alright, I gotta get a new grill. So I just tore the whole thing out. It looked like my car had no teeth, like none. And so after that, I just, you know, put in some little halos I got from Pet Boys. They were shutting down, got them for like $25. You know, they did like the multi-colored rings, and then from there, I was like, you know, let me just throw these in here and try to fill up the gap. Yeah, no, it was still ugly, but you know, Luther needed some teeth, so I put those in. From there, I was just like, you know, what else can I do? You know, he had like an empty mouth, so I was like, I gotta draw some attention away from that. I started looking for a wing. Found one for a 350Z. So, you know, I did a little photoshopping, put it on with the louvers and stuff. Chrysler 200s didn't have louvers at the time. I don't think they do now. You know, did my own little thing. And I begged everyone chip in for my wing. I didn't get the wing. So, I had to wait till taxes rolled through. So, from Christmas till taxes, you know, I was begging. I finally got it. $500 off eBay, NRG, 69-inch sport. Like, this thing was as long as the car. I was like, and my kid's mom was like, you're not overdue. I was like, nope, not at all. And every day till this one came, I worked for KFC, so I was out there measuring the sink and like, oh, it's gonna be this big compared to the sink. Came through in the mail. My kids were jumping on it. She was like, I heard something crack. I was like, I don't even care. Just give me the wing. I went, started, you know, sizing up to the car and whatnot, and it was good. It was ready to go. I was like, so excited. Carbon fiber. I was up all night taping up the back of my car, trying to eyeball it, measure it, whatever it took. I was getting it on. I was just like, I need this. And then soon after, next morning, it was on. Car was looking way different before. It's like, where am I going with this thing? Is that like it? Is that, you know, the wing? And I just loved it at that point. It was different, you know. It was not just your average Chrysler that everybody was just gonna pull up next to and be like, what is that thing? And from there, I had drove it on a long trip. It was kind of shaky. I stopped at the gas station, found these straps. I had seen JDM cars do this all the time. They have like little X-beams going around the wings, back down to the trunk. Like, okay, $3, couldn't beat it. You just cannot beat the deal of having these straps just look so nice. And soon after that, I had made some trips. I went to LA to try to find a car for my aunt, and I heard like this thumping sound and some snap. I was like, okay. I get off the freeway, nothing happened, nothing out of the ordinary. Get back on the freeway, the tire's shaking. I was like, what's going on? Turns out my tie rod had snapped. Luckily, the tire did not flip back, caused more damage, the car didn't fall, no, nothing. So I spent 2 days in LA just stranded until they fixed it. And then they didn't know how to take off lug bolts, so they had stripped my whole hub. And I was like, all right, time to upgrade. What am I going to do with this? And yeah, that was something else. Then Juice WRLD had died. Juice WRLD had somehow inspired me to do something that I didn't do or admit to myself in the years I had lost my father. I was depressed. The car was keeping me up. It was, a place where I felt like I couldn't be tied down. I just drove everywhere in the car, did everything my thinking. And he died, and, I shed some tears. I didn't really know how to feel myself. And I didn't know where I was going, especially with the car. I was like, what else can I do? And so I do what I do the best. I junkyard scavenge. Found a nice Charger with a K&N. When you hear K&N, you think of expensive. Especially in the car world, you're like, a K&N, that's $300. So I grabbed out the Charger. It wasn't gonna fit my car, needless to know. I was like, what am I gonna do with this? So I go and I stuff it in the wall because I didn't have cash. So I went and stuffed in the wall, left, went to the bank, grabbed like $20 because I had looked at the price. It was like $15. $20, ran back, got it out the wall. Someone looked at me like I was crazy, like, she like hoarding parts? I was like, no. So I ran back, paid for it. $269 K&N, $15. Slapped in the car, like straight over the OEM piping, and that was it. I was like, yes. Then I had purchased a grill, a new lower grill, put some new teeth in Luther's mouth. Hardest thing ever is taking off the bumper, seeing how ugly your car looks without it, and then just having to put this whole thing back together. It was terrible, but I had help. My daughter, she's my number one mechanic when I need help, whether it's changing tires or putting the grill back together. It was a little helper. And then I got it in. I was back in business. The car was looking brand new. I had the halos in front to match the red license plate, the new grill. Everything's all shiny at this point. Then I was like, this car was like with me everywhere I went. Like when I was back in my garage, on the road, it looked nice, but I was like, what else can I do? I was at the end of my rope. I was like, mods, they're not cheap, but I had to get away from the basic look, and the basic look of a Chrysler is shiny. It's not a 300, but it's shiny. So I looked up a rap. I looked up Dragon Ball Z. I looked up Tokyo Ghoul. I looked up Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer stood out the most. And for the price it was, I had paid about $90, $100 at the time. I had watched a lot of CK rap videos and like, I can do this. I can do this in my sleep. Did not know nothing about rapping a car. Nothing at all. I rapped tail lights before I attempted to rap tail lights. Rapping a car was different, but I wasn't gonna pay no one else to do it. So I took it upon myself, grabbed all the supplies, paper towels, regular towels, awesome spray, everything that they had in the rap videos. I got it, had it Amazon the next day to get it done. And yeah, me and rapping cars, we don't go together. There was bubbles, there was wrinkles. I would try to do around the door handles. I just try to make it look so clean, and it was ugly. In pictures, it looked nice, from at a glance, you're like, oh, wow, that's a nice wrap on. You don't see that every day, not in SoCal. You'll see like Mopar, you'll see, what it is, RT. Not an anime rap Chrysler. And this was something that I treasured. Like, it was different. But it came with some anime letters in white. I specifically asked for red. So I was like, what am I going to do with these white letters? At my job, we like to pull some nice pranks. And I took it upon myself to go to one of my coworkers' house at like 2 in the morning. Just slap it right across. I didn't even take off the clear coat. I just slapped it on there. Because once it's on there, it ain't coming off. And this kid was like, what did you do to my car? His girlfriend was mad because she doesn't like the anime stuff, so it was on there. It was just stuck. Soon after, he loved it, and I don't know, it was just a thing. He was happy he had something to look like my car. So I met this very special person. She did a lot for me. She convinced me to get something when everyone was like, you can't have it. It's too expensive. You don't have the money. So she like kind of slipped in there and was like, I'll get it. It were some Zanetti wheels, some Stagger wheels. So beautiful. They're off of Infinity. This was Liz's way of saying, I'm going to be in your life forever. And I'm like, alright, works for me. Buys the wheels. We drive all the way about like 35 minutes out. Grab the wheels. Just load them up. And Chryslers and Infinities don't have the same lug pattern. So I needed some adapters. And I jump on YouTube. And I find the only guy who actually was working with some Chryslers, and he knew his stuff. He said, grab these adapters, grab these aftermarket lugs, grab these lug bolts, just the whole shebang. And I was like, I can do this. And, you know, I jump on eBay. I put in all the work. I bought those. She got me the wheels. And in between all that, I was impatient as hell. I kept going out to my car, taking the wheels, just taking mine off, jacking the car up, putting the wheels on, lowering the car just right so it looks like they're on there, taking some pictures. I was excited to the point where I could not stand it. I was like, shipping me, sir, hurry up. And they finally came in clutch. Now, my daughter's the mechanic, but my son, he's the wheel man. He will take these things just as big as him and just roll them all over the house. Like, you couldn't tell this little boy nothing. Baby Hercules. He was more excited about the wheels than I was. And soon after they came in the mail, went outside, spent all day jacking the car up and down, making sure all the wheels fit just right, and they look beautiful, beautiful, black on black. I was like, this is it, this is the look, completes the look. And sad to say, they were a little bit too wide, but I didn't care. Bought some red lug nuts, you know, compliment, you know, my favorite colors. The calipers were red, and got sparkly little red lugs, and I was like, alright, I'm doing this. And soon after, the car kept scraping along, and the back wheels just rolled the fenders out themselves. Smelled burnt rubber no matter where I went. You know, that clutch feeling when you're going over dips and everything. And, you know, Liz was like, it'll be alright. I'm like, okay. So I needed her to do me a favor. A real solid favor. I was like, you wanna, you know, help me wrap the other side of the car? Because, you know, it was shitty when I did it by myself. And I was like, she's like, okay, I never wrapped a car before, you know, what's the worst that could happen? We were up all night at her place, you know, trying to get the wrap on. And I gotta admit, she did it way better than me, just way better. It was pretty clean. It was a little off to the side, but, you know, it worked. It looked better than the first side. And everywhere we drove, the kids loved it. You couldn't go to the mall without people taking pictures. You could not imagine the hype that this car was getting. Having an anime wrap on both sides now. Big wheels, big wing. Just, this car was different. My little sister, it was around, you know, the 4th of July, and she just wanted to try this car out. All up and down the street, just proud, you know. It's not your regular day when your younger siblings like, can't drive your car, and you know, races everything out about it. You know, proud moment. The rec letters finally came in for the car and for the wrap, and I put them on, and soon after, you know, this thing at my job happened where everyone wanted to, you know, just be a part of the club, and you know, me and my friend with the white letters, we had like matching black cars and whatnot, and it was special. It was special. I feel like I was doing something with my car that I didn't even know I was going to do with my car, and it was just growing, and I don't know. I took a lot of pride in it. And then soon after, I was trying to think of what next. What can I possibly keep doing to this car? I was running out of ideas, like really bad. Just, I know what to do. And then the craziest thing happened. One of my big Chrysler YouTubers liked my post. And soon after, not just him, the person that got the wheels on my car, the legendary Modder Mods, soon was going back and forth with me on YouTube because I couldn't do it without him. I could not let this car keep growing without just seeing what he was doing with his car. Could I match it? And then I was like, I gotta be on this guy's team. I gotta do it. And we talked. We talked for days. We talked for hours. It did not matter. This guy had a dream, and he told me, you know, go start your own YouTube channel. I was like, I can't do it. I could not take this man's dream. I had to build on it. So me being in Cali and being in, you know, Indiana, we were working something, and in the long run, it would come to fruition. And in the meantime, I had to work what I had to do in Cali, and you know, I had to keep pranking my coworkers. So what I did is I ended up taking my wrap off my car, and I went and put it on his car. Just another, you know, in the middle of the night kind of thing, and it was funny. Me and Liz were all, you know, laughing it up, because it's hard to creep around when you got the dead leaves on the floor, and crunch, crunch, and oh, did he get, no, he didn't, he's still there. All right. There was one slight problem. When I took off the wrap, it had tore off all my door paint. All of it. So I had to ride around looking miserable for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and then I met this guy in Moreno Valley, close to home. He had his own like little wrap shop. Guy made my car look brand new. Put the door back on and everything. For a cheap wrap, you could not tell the difference between wrap and paint at that point. But I needed to do something else with the car. The exhaust. I needed something obnoxious. I needed something loud. I need something that says, look at me, I'm Chrysler. And I did the craziest quad tip exhaust that you can offer on any car. And they're pretty big. I think some 4-inch piping to these 8-inch cross dual tip exhaust, poking all out, looking aggressive, and it was obnoxious, and it was loud. It was something to be reckoned with. You know, for a 2.4, the 4 bangers had the V8 Chargers looking like that thing's pretty loud. And another obnoxious idea came along, and I had to get my hands on some 6-speed 5.5-inch. I think they're about like the size of my palm. Spike lug nuts, and these were incredible. They're rose gold. I didn't care for the color. I was like, no, $2 spray can't fix. They were on sale. They usually go for about $100. I got them for $65. Doing it the moderate way of things, and these things poked out further than the wheels did. Like, frame, wheel, lug nut. They were just something else, and I loved it. But I did some searching, and I jumped back on eBay, what I usually do in my free time, and I found another 69-inch wing, a little bit more aggressive, had, you know, the nice long end plates. I wanted something that looked like Battle Arrow, but Battle Arrow was like $1,300, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't drop the ball on a wing. So I got one for $6. So my last one for $200, which is good. Some guy put on his Miata. I was like, it's a Miata, but you know, more power to him. So I had to ride around looking bald in the back, and I had to try to take my car to the car wash, and there was the holes in the back, so I had to duct tape the little holes. No one wants water in a trunk when you got two 12s running in the back, and yikes. So ordered the new one. The new wing came in pretty aggressive. It had, you know, the JDM like little flags in the legs. It was something different. So I ran with it. So I had the big eggs, you know, the straps coming through the trunk, still looking nasty. I loved it. It was obnoxious. It was Luther, and then I had dropped the ball on another wrap, and I was like, Liz, what can we do? What should we do this time? I went old school. I went Dragon Ball Z. Not old Dragon Ball Z, but current Dragon Ball Super. And I took it back to my rap guy. I was like, how much? He told me, I'll do it $25 a door. A door? It's like a door. But they had messed up on my original wrap for my black paint, so he gave me a discount. He did the whole thing for $60. Fortunately, I had a flat tire, so I had to put my car like on a little donut while he was wrapping it in the shop, and then I had to run back and forth getting my tire fixed. And you know, thanks to Liz and her Tahoe, it made it so easy. I loved it. It came out beautiful, better than me her doing it. It was amazing, pretty clean. Soon after, my sister had blessed me with the iPad Pro, and I was like, I like this thing, you know, what can I do with it? So I ended up getting some edit software, and driving from her house and back, I needed some extra lighting on the car because it was pitch black. Just you could not see a thing, and the edit software, I made it, you know, little touch-ups on the front end and grabbed some lights I found on Walmart. 1400 lumens plus 2400 lumens equals bright, super bright and pitch black, and I was happy. Everything was coming together. I felt like a real like person that was customizing the cars and whatnot with the software. And the car, after a while, kind of dulled, and I need to make it pop. What can I do next? And I looked at Liz's Tahoe. I redid her rims in pearl white, black. What can I do? So I ended up redoing my rims, the centers, all pearl white. I did the lug nuts black and pearl white tips. I was out there in the blistering cold. I had to prop up the heat gun and, you know, let that air dry out. And so impatient me, you know, I threw the wheels on while they were still wet. It didn't matter. They still look like nice and shiny, and the pearl popped. It did what it was supposed to do, and it went with the wrap. I loved it. It did something for the Chrysler that I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to spend like $600. Nope. I spent 35 bucks on about 6 spray cans, and it was crisp. It was beyond. And you know, Liz, she did something solid for me. She took my car. She's like, can I borrow your car for a day? I was like, she took it. Professional pictures. I never thought my car could look anything like it did off the lot. You know, with all the cracks on the front end, and she made it special. She even got me like this like little shark and put it in the window. It was special. So I had to go back and do some special things for her truck. Luther was, I felt like he was at his prime, but I wasn't. I ended up in the hospital for about a week. I caught a colon infection. Every day before that, Liz was like, something's wrong. Like, my kidneys were shutting down. They were like on the borderline of failure. Not like failure, but they were coming. My nurse was a dick. Got myself like in my restroom, just like on the floor. Kind of like in one of those states where I didn't even want to see the guy. And my sister had to come bring my car just to calm me down sometimes. I had to look out from a 3-story window just at my car. I was like, there it goes. There it is. Only thing that calmed me down. Liz ended up breaking me out after that week. She's like, what do you want to do? I'm going to Vegas. I hadn't been to Vegas since I was like 16. She took me to Vegas and I felt like there was more to life. I was like, am I going to be in this hospital? Let my kidneys go, or going to go live life again? I met up with one of my favorite people on Instagram, Slumped. Slumped had this Elantra. Big wing, candy red rims. Guy was incredible. We drove around Vegas looking for spots to take pictures. We ended up getting one spot. And as soon as we set up for the first picture, the hotel people came like, hey, you guys gotta leave. You guys got dim, can't have cars here. And we're just 2 cars. And I guess we made that big of a scene just setting off car alarms on our way up the parking structure and whatnot. Like, we didn't mean to, but you know, you got a lot of exhaust tips. You're like, sorry. And you know, made it back to Cali. By that time, it was Luther's birthday. It had been a year. And this car didn't see nothing but one blowout for a whole year. That's good in my book. I've been able to put this decal on my cars, and it's kind of a bad sign. And I didn't care. He made it a year, and I was happy. Me and Moderate started getting more close. I could not go a day at work without watching this guy's videos. It got me through. You know, it made me realize like I was working fast food with this nice car in the driveway, and everyone's just like, well, what can I do with my car? Soon after, I get hit by this guy on Instagram named Bryson. Bryson's a cool guy. I didn't know him. I was like, okay. He's like, can you help me find this rim? I'm having trouble. I was like, okay, sure. Find the rim he's looking for $160. Now, mind you, in the world of aftermarket parts or replacement OEMs, typical OEM rim is about $250. This guy fell in love. He's like, oh my god, you did it, you found it. Then my coworker comes to me, he's like, hey, I just tinted my taillights. Can you help me out? I go out, these taillights are, yeesh. He was like, yeah, my girl helped me do it. I was like, okay. I didn't say nothing of it. Spent like 2 hours with him. Ripped it all off and showed him some of my taping skills with my painter's tape and just sprayed it all up. And Moder's like, you know what, we gotta make this official. You know, you're doing your thing out in Cali. He's like, I'm making decals. You want one? $10. I would have bought it for any price. The guy had helped me through everything. Came in the mail. Kind of, you know, I had to stuff away the address. I was gonna save that for later, because I had some plan for this guy as a thank you later on. But put it on the back of my car with all the rest of the decals, and the car just took off from there. He fell in love with the car. He can't believe he started me on modding my car. Liz gets her hands on the car. Liz does a lot of things when she gets her hands on the car. She takes it out to the malls, the outdoor malls. You know, all eyes on her, and she went to go get a tattoo. And she's like, they put your car on the snap mat. The snap mat? What's the snap mat? I didn't know what it was. Snap map is when you pick a location and whatever events happen in that location, everyone can see it who's on Snapchat. And I guess the tattoo people put my car up there. And I was like, okay. I responded because usually me posting my own car, getting hit from people in my car on the street, it's more like small. This was big. Big to me. To her, she was like, these things happen. She's like famous on TikTok in my eyes, but don't let her know that. So I reached out. I had to, widen my horizon about the car because we were doing things for Chryslers, and I got tired of that. I got tired of just being confined. So Liz had bought a 350Z not too far back, and I thought the bodies were kind of similar. They weren't, but in my eyes they were because, they were pretty nice. I had saw a rear diffuser from Street Arrow for a 370Z. I thought, can I do something with that? It should work. It gotta work. Cars are cars. I had found this little editing software program. I couldn't help it. I needed to have this on my car. So I finagled once again. That's what I do. As a tinker, I gotta make it work. And I did. I photoshopped it on, did the best I could. Street Arrow had it for $360. I wasn't gonna pay that. I could not. And OfferUp was very big in California, very big. Some guy was selling it for $180. Now, that's not a moderate price. I don't know what it is because that's dirt cheap. Got my hands on it. Drove out 45 minutes. Traffic and all. I got my hands on it. Took it back to Liz's house. Another overnight thing. I got out in the car. Car was completely different. Completely, I had to warp it a little bit to make it fit the Chrysler 200. And then everyone else was like, where'd you get it? And I was like, it's kind of one of a kind right now, but I can tell you how to do it, but it's kind of one of a kind. And I went to visit my sister, and I had to get away from all that because the hype was just like, I can't do it. I'm not that kind of guy. I likes to be in the sunlight, spotlight, can't do both, but I ran into this upcoming musician, and he had some music. The guy selling music straight out of his trunk, and they're all staring at my car, and I pull up, I was like, thought to myself long and hard. My nephew, I went inside, I was like, in the gas station. Is this gonna make his day or my day? So I asked him to sign my car. He's like, I never signed a car before. I've signed, books, I signed pictures. I've never signed a car. I get the signature, I'm like, he gives me a CD with it, I'm like, okay. Played the whole CD, the whole rest of the trip, and it was good. I love the CD, I love the music. I'm all, showing off the signature on my Instagram. I was up there. And Mopar Gang, one of our close friends in the 200 community, he hits me up for this before and after challenge, and I could not believe the before and after difference in a year. I was blown, and soon after that, I come to find out Moderate's hitting his 1,000 subscriber mark. And the guy that I am, I had to make it special for him because it was kind of special for both of us because I knew the guy for about 6-7 months. And in those 7 months, this was family now, and I had to make it up to this guy, this 1,000 mark. So I used to dabble in art. I drew a little bit and whipped something up for him. He he didn't know how to respond. He was moved by it. Very moved. And to me, it was nothing. To him, it was like this big thing, you know. Kills his wife. He's like, hey, you know, Chrysler did this for me and whatnot. And her, she's like, he can't shut up about you. But I decided to do it again. I decided to do another edit, not limited to my build. I find a Mustang lip, and I had to have it once again. I was like, Liz was like, you know, it's $100, right? I'm like, yeah. Okay. Are you gonna do it? Let me see how it looks on my car. I do another edit. I warp it. It looks super clean, super duper clean, and I order it. You know, I'm once again impatient as ever. In the meantime, I was not into car meets. I thought it was gonna be something new for 2021. We go to a car meet. It was cool. I knew one of the guys there, longtime friend. He used to go by Wicked Civic back in the day. Goes by the Riddler now. Waiting for him, and supposedly there's people going around with their cameras and whatnot. I was like, oh, that's cool, you know. I guess it's a big thing. A couple days later, Liz is like, you know your car's in a music video for them? A video? I could not deal. So I find the video, I was like,
This New York got this coming through more rowdy than a mosh pit. I am the gossip who spits the hottest, kicking doors in nigga for the locksmith. Yeah, this New York got this coming through more rowdy than a mosh pit. I am the gossip who spits the hottest, kicking doors in nigga for the locksmith. You be bringing it back. You be bringing it back. You be bringing it back.
it's in there. It was legit. Like the Chrysler was in the video. Everyone in the touring community is going crazy. They're like, dude, you know, your car's famous. And I'm like, it's not famous. It's a car. They have the same cars. You know, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to make myself seem better than everyone else. And I'm not. Never have, never will. Tensions are high. I got to one-up myself once again. When you drill holes in your car for a wing, that's the point of no return. You've modded, you know, your car. You've drilled into the body. It's a done deal. Fender flares. Fender flares were next on the low budget mod list, and that was the real point of no return. You don't drill into the side of your car without worrying about, is it going to depreciate my value? Yep. I'm keeping the car forever, so I drilled them in. I had moderate on live camera, like, dude, you're gonna do it? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. You're gonna really do it? Yeah, I'm gonna really do it. I had Liz right there in the background, make sure all the measurements were right and whatnot, and zipped away about 40 holes that day, and I didn't look back. Car was different. The car looked at lowered, because for some reason, everyone thought I was gonna lower my car. I actually lifted my rear end 2 inches. So I had like the nose down kind of look, and with the fender flares, I dropped the car back down in a sort of illusion. So there was this big trend that modern freaking started, and it had everyone going nuts. It was the conversion of the limited to the S to the slimmited, what I call it. And he set off a new wave for this mod thing that was happening. So you needed the proxy alignment, you needed the gear shift knob, the cluster was optional for the speed, and you needed the paddle shifters. And so with that, everyone was like, how do I do it? Hitting him up. Bryson was one of my underlings. I call him my underling. I was on water. I was like, you know, we all got to take somebody under our wings. Bryson was under mine. I feel like that's just what it was from the day I helped him. And he grabbed the paddle shifters, he grabbed the gear shift, he grabbed the proxy line, he grabbed everything. Just one little piece. And Bryson was on his second 200. His first one had burned down. And, you know, in the community, when anything happens that's not, like, salvageable, it really hurts. So, you know, I felt for that. I've had my little blowout. I've had, you know, my trunk almost caught on fire one time from my subs. Pat that one out real quick. And I felt like I needed to give back. I need to give something back from his past. And it was the cluster. And this guy, very emotional person, very sensitive. And he took this thing to a whole new level.
Jay, what the hell you did? I seriously don't know what this is, so we're gonna figure out together. My friend Chrysler ordered this from me. What is it? I don't know. I know emblems wouldn't come in this. Floor. No, he did. What is it? No, he did not. Oh my. What is it?
And he sparked a new flame within me, moderate, you know, other 200 owners. When it comes to us helping each other, we do the most selfless things. And this guy, I had to watch his reaction a few times, like on my way to work, because I was having such crummy days. And he loved this thing. The cluster just set off his 200 like it did the first time he got it. And that hits home with me, like reaching out to help others. Like, I'm not rich, and what I did was, you know, just something priceless. He enjoys everything, and I love that about him. So soon after he got his cluster, I got my splitter, and I did little extras on it. I had bought a carbon fiber one with the red lip to match Moderate's blue one, and I ended up getting the Mustang parts. And all in total, I spent about $180 on the splitter. And let Liz tell it, I was impatient again. You'll find this pretty common in me. I get impatient when I get excited. And we were going to a car meet that same night, and I was like, I gotta put it up, I gotta make it look nice. And she was like, you don't even have all the hardware. You still want to do it? I was like, yeah. And impatient me, I got it up, and soon after our exit from the meet, shoots off on the freeway going 110. Liz was like, you don't want to look. I was like, no, I want to look. It was gone. I had one piece left, just one little carbon fiber piece on the side, and I felt I let the whole 200 community down. I let myself down because I felt like I was setting the bar for everyone, and I drove away from her house that night just beating myself up. I was like, I don't even know why people look up to me. I didn't understand it. Like, I was depressed, and I had put out this thing, and I had to really realize who appreciate the things I did. I put up a post, you know, giving thanks to everyone in the community who kept pushing me forward, kept being my support system, and I didn't know how to feel about it. I didn't know how to feel about my car. I didn't know how to feel about myself. I had Liz there, and she was like, it'll be okay. You know, do it again. And I just wish that when everything went downhill, I wish people had called me instead of sending me messages, because the tone is everything. You you can read the text and, you know, it's your own deduction from it, but I really had to hear these people's voices in my head as I read the messages and realized, like, they were there for me. You know, Moderate, Wolf, Bryson, even my coworkers. I needed to be lifted up to a point where I was gonna get back up and do this again. And soon after, I made another Vegas trip and met one of the homies, Tyler's. He had just had his 200 rear ended. He was like, dude, my car's ugly. I don't want it posing in pictures with your car. I was like, dude, we have the same car. And I took him out to eat, and one of the cooks at the Mexican restaurants we were at, he loved Dragon Ball Z. I don't know what it was. And then he was like, hey, you see Dragon Ball Z car? He's like, yeah. Dude rips open his shirt pretty much and has a Dragon Ball Z shirt under his uniform. And I was like, dude, your car's famous. I'm like, it's not famous. We ended up going, taking some pictures together, and the cars look so different, you know. It was awesome. It wasn't awesome that they were that different. It was just awesome, like, seeing that there are people in the community that want to be with this car. They want their car next to my car, or vice versa. I know Moderate, he wanted a good shot with my car. You know, we were talking plans about bringing up to Indiana for the rest of the squad, you know, Underdog 200, as Mopar Gang calls it. And I was excited. I was talking to Moderates around Christmas, and we were going to put something in the works for spring. About February, early February. I had left my car at home, and I get a call back from my kid's mom the next day, like, hey, were you in a car accident? No, I'm not even with my car. What's going on? And she's like, you might want to see it for yourself. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but I was not in a car accident. So me and Liz, we drive back from her house the next morning, and there it was. It was hit from the front passenger side, and I was like, well, what happened? She's like, I thought you would tell me. You didn't have your car. I'm like, no, I didn't have my car. And come to find out that car was taken out and got it back, and that was it. It was just, frame was curved in, and everyone in the community was just shocked, like I was. Like, that car that beautiful can just be totaled in an instant, and there ain't no going back. There ain't no, you know, oh, well, if I would have took my car with me, nothing would happen with it. And things happen for a reason, and everyone was moved and hurt, and I don't know, a part of Luther died in all of them, I guess. And for me, it was like, it's a car. I don't know. Everyone was like, you put your hard work, getting your money into this. I'm like, I had the car a year, and for some reason, it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. And I just wanted to make the best out of a bad situation at that point. I was like, you know, I was already looking to a Charger, and things happened. So soon after, I tell my insurance, I was like, they're like, well, we don't cover aftermarket parts. It's like, you don't. So, okay, I got something for that. I pull up addresses from Bryson, from Moderate, from whoever I can. Do you guys want this? Can I get this? At first I was gonna part out the aftermarket parts for sale, or, you know, at an auction with the 2-hour community. I needed to let these parts go to people who really enjoyed the car as much as I did. So there I was, sawing off my tips, you know, because Bryson wanted, you know, dual tip exhaust and whatnot. So I sawed those off, sent those to him, and the diffuser, the Moderate, everybody was looking for that diffuser. I was going to give it to Wolf, but, you know, due to some, you know, disagreements that I had partaken beforehand, you know, I figured Moderate would be the perfect candidate. So I sent it to him, and I don't know. I feel like the legend lived as far as it goes. Like, Luther was not just a car, he was a part of the community beyond California, beyond just pictures. He ended up on, you know, Moderat's Chrysler. Parts ended up on Liz's new Camry, and I thank these people for letting the legend live on within their cars, you know, because when they walk out to their cars, they're not just looking at their cars, they're looking at, that's Luther, that's the piece that didn't die. And you know, I love all of them for that. I could not thank them enough for giving him that little piece of glory on their cars. But y'all know the story don't end there. I end up linking up with Moderate. You know, I flew out to Indiana and I met Underdog. I met everyone in the squad. I got to take pictures. I got to make videos. I got to, you know, do things with these people that a year ago you wouldn't have asked me, well, are you going to Indiana to meet these guys? I'd probably been like, nope, I ain't getting on no plane. You know, it was one of those things that I owed up to Luther, like spreading his ashes kind of thing. Like, I wanted this car to go beyond the build. Like I tell everybody else, don't be limited to your build. Do something that nobody would expect. And these people showed me that this car was not a 200. This car was a legend. And in the words of Modern, it's a legend. And I thank them for that. And if you guys are watching this, then you know from day one that this car was special. And I thank you guys for making it special.